During the peak of the 2000s Hollywood era, when fame meant tabloid omnipresence and your name became a genre unto itself, equal parts teen drama, glossy magazine covers, and red carpet flashbulbs, Jennifer Love Hewitt lived dead center into the chaos, not as an award-season darling or a prestige character actress, but as the kind of famous where the machine couldn't decide if you were an actress, a brand, or just a headline waiting to happen. And for a while, she played every role they handed her. The girl next door warmth in the movie Party of Five, the scream queen credibility in the movie I Know What You Did Last Summer, and the glossy rom-com energy in the movie Heartbreakers, where she proved she could carry a network show like it was nothing. That's the kind of resume that usually locks you into permanent celebrity orbit. The kind where the public assumes the camera will always find you. Until the temperature changes. Until you blink and realize the roles are shifting. The coverage is shifting. And suddenly the question shows up. The one that always sounds innocent but never is. What happened to Jennifer Love Hewitt? Where did she go? Why isn't she in movies like that anymore? Did she fall off? Did Hollywood move on? Or did she do the thing the industry quietly punishes and secretly fears the most? Did she step back? Because here's the twist most people miss. Jennifer Love Hewitt didn't vanish. She stopped letting the public own her timeline. She stopped treating visibility like a requirement. Instead of staying strapped to the conveyor belt, where actresses are expected to be endlessly available, endlessly marketable, endlessly on, she chose something rarer: control. She chose when to show up, what to say yes to, and what kind of life she wanted when the cameras weren't rolling. And once you stop feeding the spotlight tells the audience you're gone. To understand what really happened to Jennifer Love Hewitt, you must go back to the era when she wasn't just famous, she was a whole vibe. The early 2000s was a period of celebrity culture at its most intense, most invasive, and most relentless, and a star who eventually decided she wasn't going to live inside it forever. Jennifer Love Hewitt's rise is a perfect example of how entertainment used to work when TV and movies were still separate kingdoms. You hit big on TV, and it makes you a household face. Then movies scoop you up and turn you into a poster. And for a while, that formula worked like clockwork for her, especially once she became the kind of name audiences instantly recognized. Jennifer entered the late 90s and early 2000s pop culture bloodstream in a way that didn't just create opportunities, it created constant visibility. The kind that looks like success from the outside and feels like a cage from the inside. Because when you're that visible, the machine stops asking, "What roles do you want?" and starts asking, "What version of you sells?" That pressure, being packaged, judged, repackaged, and judged again, became one of the recurring tensions in her career. The actress she wanted to be versus the brand Hollywood kept trying to manufacture. This is what people forget when they ask, what happened? Jennifer Love Hewitt didn't do the teen star thing and quietly evaporate. She became a long-running TV anchor on Ghost Whisperer, one of the hardest jobs in entertainment, carrying emotional storylines week after week, year after year, while the internet and tabloids treated her personal life like public property. She proved she could lead a show, build loyalty, and hold an audience without needing the constant churn of new movies. She wasn't fading, she was working, consistently. And then she did the thing that always triggers the "what happened" narrative. She stepped off the treadmill. Not because she couldn't get hired, not because she ran out of talent, not because the phone stopped ringing. She stepped back because her life was changing, and the pace that once looked glamorous started to look unsustainable. There's a moment that functions as a clear marker in the public timeline: her stint on Criminal Minds. She joined as a regular in season 10 as Kate Callahan, then left at the end of the season due to her second pregnancy, which was then followed by a 3-year hiatus. That's the exact point the simplified internet story starts to form. She disappeared. She fell off. Hollywood moved on. Because the internet loves a clean narrative arc. But real life rarely follows clean narrative arcs. The truth is usually quieter and more human. She made a conscious decision to pull back. In hindsight, she's framed it that way, stepping away by choice, not by force. And that decision is what changed the tone of her career. The second half of her story isn't about being everywhere. It's about being selective, showing up when projects fit her life instead of showing up because a machine demands her presence. That's why her return is so telling. In 2018, she comes back in a way that doesn't scream comeback tour, but rather strategic stability. She joins 911, a big network hit with a built-in audience and a long runway. Coverage around the time framed it explicitly as a return after hiatus, coming back on her own terms. Her character, Maddie Buckley, isn't a novelty cameo or a nostalgia play. She's written with weight, a nurse-turned-dispatcher shaped by trauma, trying to rebuild her life while living inside high-stakes, high-emotion stories. That matters because it shows what her return actually was. Not Jennifer Love Hewitt tries to be 22 again, not Jennifer Love Hewitt begs for relevance, but Jennifer Love Hewitt choosing a stable platform where she can act consistently without having to chase movies one paycheck at a time. And it worked. It gave her a steady creative outlet without requiring the constant public performance that early 2000s celebrity demanded. It also gave her something even more valuable than momentum: control over her pace. This is where the story turns into that classic real-life meets Hollywood collision. In 2021, ABC News reported that Hewitt gave birth to her son Aiden, her third child with husband Brian Hallisay. That isn't a footnote. It's a massive factor in why her career looks different than it did at 22, when your calendar can be built entirely around work and appearances. 911 itself had to navigate that reality. Her character stepped away from maternity leave, with the show planning her return afterward. That's not decline, that's life. And this is the part that always gets lost in the what happened conversation. A lot of careers don't fall off, they rebalance. People see fewer projects and assume something went wrong, when sometimes the real answer is that a person built a life that isn't optimized for constant visibility. The absence isn't a failure, it's a boundary. There's another layer to her story that makes it especially internet compatible. Hewitt became heavily categorized by the culture. She didn't just act in early 2000s Hollywood, she became a symbol of that era's celebrity machinery. And once you become a symbol, the public stops reacting to your work and starts reacting to the imaginary version of you they carry around in their heads. That's why the question, what happened to her, gets asked even when she's actively working on a major network show. Because what people often mean isn't, where did she go? They mean, why aren't I seeing her in the exact way I remember seeing her? And the answer is simple. Because she stopped letting the world freeze her in that era. She moved past the packaged version of herself that Hollywood wanted to keep selling forever. She evolved beyond the era where her visibility was treated like an obligation. Even while anchored to TV, she still gets those moments that remind people she's part of the long arc of pop culture. On 911, her storylines became a fan investment machine. Big emotional arcs, relationship stakes, major events like the wedding episode people previewed, where Hewitt discussed how she'd envisioned the pairing early on. Entertainment Weekly has also covered how her involvement shaped key relationship choices and story direction. That matters because it reframes her return not as passive, but intentional. She isn't just cast in a role, her presence influences what the show becomes. So what happened to Jennifer Love Hewitt? She did something rare in celebrity culture. She stopped chasing the version of success that requires you to be constantly available for public consumption. She stepped away at a moment tied directly to pregnancy and a deliberate decision to pull back. She returned with a long-running, high-visibility role that offered stability and control. She continued balancing career and family, while remaining present through consistent work rather than constant publicity.
That isn't disappearing. That's choosing the lane where your life doesn't get eaten alive by the machine.
And if you think about it, it's kind of the ultimate power move. Not falling off, not fading away, but refusing to hand the public a timeline, a non-stop output schedule, or a neat little comeback narrative to consume. Jennifer Love Hewitt didn't vanish. She reclaimed the right to be a person first, and a celebrity only when she felt like it. And that's what happened to Jennifer Love Hewitt.